What's up? I hope y'all can hear me. I think I got my mic on. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This was not a planned live. Um, Waiting on my husband. Got my little sun hat on. These little bucket hats my cousin put me on to him because it's hot outside. I just got finished walking the dogs, and we are on to my clinic to move the furniture from current clinic around down the hall and around the corner to the new space. So it got me to thinking about like growth, right? Growth can be scary. Hey, Esty, how you doing? I just decided to jump on here. I had some things on my mind. I wasn't sure if any of the OGs was gonna be able to get on, but needless to say, I wanted to get this out. So as we're preparing to go up here and move the furniture, I was thinking about growth, right? Growth can be scary, right? It can be hard, it can be challenging, but it's necessary, right? To get where you want to be. You're going to have to go through, as they say, growing pains. Esty, can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. I'm just running my mouth. Can you let me know if you can hear me before I go all into what I got to say? Hopefully you can. If somebody can give me a one before I go into my whole big spiel. Can you all hear me? My mic is on. I just need to make sure you can hear me. Do the hearts mean you can hear me? I hope that's what it means. Hi, Lisa. Okay. So I hope that y'all can hear me. So as I was saying, okay, great. So as I was saying, my husband preparing to go and move the furniture into a bigger space. And so it got me to thinking about growth and how, it could suck sometime, right? I've had my business for 3 years, and I think about where I started and where I am today, and I've grown a lot. Um, Even in the physical space that I'm in, like when I started, I had gotten this big, huge, wooden, heavy exam table, which I would think it was. I think it was a chiropractic like table, so it was like huge. It could hold a lot of weight, all the things, but it was free on marketplace. And like I say, I was in the beginning stages. I had already spent God knows how much on rent because I had secured my office before I actually, opened up to start seeing patients. So I was like, I had like $650 in expenses and wasn't bringing in a dime. So anyway, so then as I evolved from there, began to have patience, began to have, good revenue. Then I was like, okay, I went into, got rid of that table and bought like, I call it an esthetician type chair, right? You can recline it and all that kind of stuff, just to give the aesthetics a better feel. Plus, I had started doing chemical peels and things of that nature. And so I brought in a little bit more shelving, things of that nature, just to give the space a little bit of zhuzh. So it's like I grew. So people who came in the beginning remember how like bare bones it was and things like that. So then when they come, they like, okay, you got some plants, this and that. So now that we're moving into this bigger space, at first I was like, okay, I gotta get this, I gotta get that, and I wanted to do, and it just reminded me to, pause, take what I have, put that in there. I have carpal tunnel, Lisa, and sometimes it act up, carrying too much heavy stuff, doing too much with the right hand. Um, And even though the rent go up and things like that, all the things I did, from the first day that I opened up the practice to today, I've done them with a little bit of nervousness, a little bit of, being scared, a little bit of, oh my God, but it's always paid off, right? So growth is not easy, but it's necessary to get you where you want to be. If you get what I'm trying to say, y'all. So I'm super excited. Um, Realizing to take a pause and not feeling like, oh, I'm gonna have all this space, so now I got to fill it up. No, I don't. Now the stuff that I have in one room now will actually be able to, be in its own separate space. And from there, I can evaluate and say, okay, I would like 2 chairs here in the reception area and 2 chairs in my office and this kind of shelving and, and things like that. And it's like, it's okay. It's okay. So it may not be the finished product as of, today, but we can grow into the space, so to speak, is like what I was thinking when I was walking the dogs. And this morning, my little dog, we didn't give him his melatonin last night because I fell asleep. Me and my husband decided to go to Red Lobster and see what all the fuss about, about the new menu, this, and that. And it was actually good. End up spending just as much as we would at Papa Do's. But we didn't have like the stomach upset and heartburn. No shade to Papa Do's because I love Papa Do's. But Papa Do's, you gonna know you eating, right? Because it's gonna be super seasoned, and you gonna have to drink a lot of water to flush all that sodium out of you, kind of thing. But I just had the itis. Once we got back, I did a little bit of work on the computer, and I fell asleep. I think I fell asleep before 8:30 because it was still light out. And so he forgot to get the dog some melatonin. So little dog at 1:30 banging on the crate like a prisoner in a county jail. So I'm like, it's 1:30. Should I get up and get him his melatonin, or should I just try to sleep through his banging and clanging and all that stuff? So I got up and gave it to him. End up cleaning up the kitchen and all this other stuff. So then couldn't really go back to sleep. Didn't want to sit up in the living room or the family room. So then I just started working on a logo for the channel. If you come here on Thursdays, then you know that the channel is growing, and I do want to continue to elevate the channel, polish it, and things of that nature. So I said, oh, I need a logo. I'm starting to notice people that I follow that's not necessarily in the XJW community. They they have a watermark and things like that. And you can take your YouTube to a side business level. Some people take it to a huge business level, right? And so I am business minded. So I started playing around with logos and things of that nature. And I'm like, what symbolizes, and I always go to butterfly, is I guess that's my spirit animal, they say. But I was like, I do have loyal male watchers and supporters. So I was like, the butterfly might, come across too feminine, right? So I said, what else have I come across that kind of symbolizes what I feel the channel is about, right? Coming from ugly places and prospering, getting through the muck to the better side and things like that. So then I thought about, what is it called? The lotus flower, right? It's a beautiful flower, but it grows in like muddy, mucky waters, right? So I said, oh, that'll be perfect. Now, if they feel a type of way about that, then that's fine. So I started playing with the design. If you've been following my journey here on the channel, technology and apps and all these things are not my, I wouldn't have said it was in my skill set when I started the channel, but I've gotten so much better. And I end up coming up with what I consider a pretty good prototype. Hi, Ben. And so, yeah, so I hope to, I guess display it soon on some of the videos. So if y'all start noticing in the right corner, like a little bit of a watermark, I didn't came up with a logo, but it made me think again about the growth. Like, man, thinking about where I started with this channel, I just was trying to figure it out. Now I have, I can kind of come up with a concept and an outline, and okay, I want the beginning to be like this, and things like that. So growth is, it happens, but you got to do the work, right? You don't know which direction. Um, you can't get caught up in thinking like, oh, I got to go in this direction. Like for me, my success on the channel, I feel like just being myself. Being myself is what has gotten the channel to where it is. And so just recognizing the growth in just the YouTube channel it like warms my heart. And I really, even though the logo is nothing, super fantastic, but it was like, this is it. This is it. And yeah, I feel good about it. And I feel good about the direction of the channel. And I'll be doing a video soon, probably next week, just talking about how I went from being clueless with YouTube to being monetized. Um, in order to get a payout, you have to have at least $100 um, in revenue, right, from ads and super chats and super thanks and memberships and things like that, in order for them to pay you out the following month. So I think this morning I was at about $87. So I was like, oh Lord, it'd be nice, if I can get $13 more by I guess June 30th. Hello, Poncho. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. So just was thinking about growth and how excited I am. Not only am I moving into a new space with the business, I kept saying it's not a brand, it's not a revamp, but I said I'm refining my offering. So I'm only going to be offering 3 main programs, which is the pretty much my biggest revenue program, which is medical weight loss. So it does involve the GLP-1 injections. I'm sure everybody has heard of, the brand names and things like that. So I'm going to make that more like I'm capping how many patients. So I think it's only room. I'm talking about what I got going on and growth and things like that. Just kind of popping on. So I'm gonna cap that program because I'm rolling out more functional medicine root cause program. So I'll be doing a hair strand analysis program where I've partnered with a lab that can take just a few strands of your hair, and from that they can give you 1,200 insights as to what's going on in your body, whether it's inflammation, bloating, skin issues. If you have toxins in your body, is your thyroid, messed up? What food sensitivities you have? And so I'm excited about that because that's, really non-invasive. It's to the point where they could literally you literally take hairs out of your brush, and submit them for analysis. So I think a lot of people would appreciate that because you don't get that kind of testing at your regular doctor. And then the other program that it would include that hair strand, but also very concentrated gut health testing. It's called a GI map, where they take about the size of a Hershey kiss of your stool. So it could gross people out a little bit, but just from that little small sample of your stool, they can see if you got parasites. They can see if you got any kind of fungus, any kind of yeast. They can look at the microbiome of your gut. So we've all heard about, right? Sometimes they call it what? Good bacteria, bad bacteria. So they can see if there's an imbalance. There's a microbiome called Akkermansia. That is basically the microbiome responsible for like your metabolism, your ability to lose weight and things of that nature. It's basically what activates the GLP-1 pathways inside your body. So for a lot of people who are like, man, I can't lose weight, this and that, they take their GI map test and we find out it's because they have no macri. Now I can't say it. Acromansia. So I'm super excited about that. So those would be like my three. So I'll just be refining because sometimes it's easy to get caught up in I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and da da da. Nope, these three. If part of this clinic is you came in on these three. And then I'll still offer a few things, but only exclusive to people who have either been a patient or currently a patient. And that's like the body contouring, lipo dissolve, vitamin B. Just really want to refine. So how does this tie into growth? When I started, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Then you meet people and they doing this and they doing that and they doing, and then you feel like, well, that's what I got to do in order to increase the revenue. And sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But at the end of the day, I want to do things that I'm passionate about. And so that's where the growth come in. These are things I'm passionate about. I'm ready to start getting out. I'm doing speaking engagements. Like I have a whole LLC that I've never used that I actually got to pay the renewal fee for before the end of the month that I had started because I had anticipated creating courses on helping other people on how they can open up their own wellness practice and things like that. But I said, you know what? I don't really want to do courses. I want to get out here and speak. So that LLC can start generating money. So I'm just excited, about the direction my life is going. That even though the growth can be scary, the growing, phase per se, you always growing, but like the thick of it, right? It can be scary. It could be nerve wracking. It could be frustrating. I swear, I feel like I always got something to do. But I'm like, by the end of September, I think everything should be in place and it should just be, systematic. So, yeah, growth is necessary if you want to be better. I see some people popped in. Let's see. Hey, Leo, how you doing? Uh, Poncho? No, I don't. I have two dogs. So, and they upstairs. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's it, y'all. That's all. I just wanted to pop on while my husband getting ready. We're gonna go move this furniture and come back and just try to get myself together. I had two sister lock clients tomorrow, so definitely need to rest my hand for that. If you would, I don't think none of my people are here. Well, Esty is here. So Esty, I did have that ultrasound that I was mentioning. Um, oh yeah, I think I had it that same day. Yeah, I had it that Thursday. It came back. It was it's just a Baker's cyst. Yes, I will. I will, Leo. It's just a Baker's cyst. So that was what the doctor suspected. Baker's cyst is basically you got like a fluid sac behind your kneecap. And it can happen from like a knee injury or arthritis or something like that. I don't think I necessarily have arthritis. But maybe I did tweak something. Maybe it is a small tear, and that's why that fluid is, seeping out of the capsule that it should be in. It's the fluid, that cushions the knee, so that it's not like bone on bone kind of thing. So waiting to see what this doctor is gonna do. I know he had mentioned maybe a cortisone shot that'll help with the inflammation. Um, it didn't seem like it was that big if I remember the dimensions of it, but I wouldn't probably be opposed to getting it drained. It hasn't been bothering me too much, but like the other day, oh my God, I was like, and I got a pretty high tolerance for pain. It was no joke. So anyway, y'all, that's it. I just wanted to pop on real quick because I'm excited about the direction of my life. Even though it is a lot of time, it's a lot of moving pieces, but I'm like, man, by the end of the year, things should be sweet, you know? And yeah, I'm just gonna keep pushing. What other option do I have? I ain't got no other option, right? That's how it go in life when you grown. But what y'all got planned today? I got my little bucket hat on. Don't want people be looking at me crazy. I do look a little crazy, I guess. But I be keeping these things are great because it keeps the sun off of you, you know, which I like. I've been working on the membership stuff too. So um it all depends. I may be able to work on it tonight after we move. But I know for sure next week they're gonna go live. Okay, Leo finally got a Saturday off doing laundry. I know, right? I realize I need some downtime. Is something every day, you know. It's something every day, but I keep telling myself just take downtime in pockets. So like Mondays, I I kind of reclaim for myself, even though I still be working and doing stuff, but I do stuff like what you're saying, like, you know, get my laundry done or, just I give myself a pass that day, you know, like maybe I might record content, but maybe not edit it that day, um, something that ain't too much. I found this new yoga studio that's not too far from me, and I think I'm gonna sign up. I miss doing yoga. I wish they had hot yoga. I don't think they got hot yoga, but I definitely feel like as I was knocking at the door, stretching, yoga, those are like for your joints and things of that nature. Because the hormone shift ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. I wasn't hungry, but now I done got a little hungry. So I might have to find something to eat before we go. All right, guys. Well, that's it. I didn't want to come on here long. I knew I was taking a shot in the dark to see if any of the real ones would jump on. If y'all have not, watched any of the recent uploads, please go watch. I'm trying to hit that $100 mark so I can, get my first official payout with YouTube. And I was telling myself, I said, you know what? If I can hit $100 every month, that'll be the money I use to pay for the yoga. Because they had like some unlimited packages, like I think it was like $99 unlimited yoga classes. So I'm gonna go check it out first before I make a commitment. So that's how that go. Be on the lookout. We making big moves over here. So got some things in a shopping cart to try to enhance the quality of the videos. I'm really enjoying this journey here on YouTube, getting to meet so many people that I really feel connected to y'all. You know who you are. And yeah, the channel has been a bright spot in my life, getting to meet people with similar backgrounds, but also, just seeing how people are, moving in the world. And I like that, you know. But y'all enjoy y'all Saturday. We're gonna go move this furniture and get that done. Then I'm gonna come back and chill for a little bit. All right. Take care. Peace.